All right, so let's just move on. One other quick topic while I got you here, just a couple of minutes on this, and that is the post office. You and I have talked about the post office probably more than any two people that I've ever been aware of, anyways, over the years.
More than the Postmaster General and the Deputy Postmaster General.
There have been multiple occasions where there was, I remember, we were hoping that I think it was Obama would appoint the right people to the
governors,
the post office board of governors, and talking about postal banking. I'm hoping to have the head of the post office workers union on in a couple of days and whatnot. But in the meantime, what's your sense? Like, how dire is this? Because I've had conversations with people just randomly. Like, I was getting a pair of glasses and the guy was like, it's going to take 2 weeks because the post office has just been, horrible lately. And a friend of mine who is, trying to wait on some some material because she's, making some, designing some stuff, and said, like, it's been sitting in the post office for a week and I can see it. Like, I'm tracking it. It's just not leaving the post office. Well,
this is more than anecdotal. We know that the new Postmaster General who's come in, his name's Louis DeJoy. He was the CEO of a logistics firm and also was a huge Trump donor. And he has come in and he's cut the ability for postal workers to use overtime. And he has instituted standards such that you go out with the mail that you have, and if there's other mail at the sorting office, you leave it behind. I mean, he has said that very directly in memos and in directives, and that feeds on itself. If you have, mail keeps coming. So if you leave some behind one day, then you leave a little bit more the next day and a little bit more, and you get this tremendous backlog that we appear to be seeing. So it's not a joke. It's not just 3 people saying I'm having trouble getting my mail.
Right.
And it's important to say that before this point, there was no, like, in international surveys, no international post office did better than the United States. I mean, anyone that's gone abroad and sent a postcard knows that it takes a long, long time for those postcards to get back. And that's kind of, the way in which certain countries operate. But it wasn't the way that the United States operated. I mean, postal, the post office was seen as a model of efficiency and reliability. And the attempt is clearly being made to rip that away.
And universality. I mean, this is the thing that's also amazing about it, is that every other country you compare this to do not have for the most part, do not have their population so spread out and having people live in such, sort of like, nether regions, as it were. And okay, but how lasting? All right. So Joe Biden becomes president, knock on wood. And on day one, new Postmaster General, does everything get fixed, or is this going to inhibit and vote by mail is another issue. From my perspective, it seems like a twofer, right? Like, they want to debilitate the post office. Short term, it's going to have the impact of making it very hard to get ballots in on time. But midterm, it's also going to sort of like turn people away from the post office because they don't know what you just told me. They just know, like, I can't rely on the post office anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, how elastic is that? Or I guess
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to be able to bounce back. I mean, this is really serious stuff. It's not. It's more than ballots, right? It's these small businesses that rely on shipping for their entire business. It's prescription drugs that are sent often through the mail, more and more actually, as pharmacies become mail order pharmacies and use the postal service for that purpose. It's this is a major short-term problem that goes even beyond the election, even though the election is obviously very important. Long-term, I mean, yes, they're trying to make the case for privatization, to give up the monopoly on the mailbox to UPS and FedEx, and to put the post office, essentially destroy the post office.
Who's going to investigate this?
I mean, what's that?
Is there a congressional committee that is going to investigate this? I mean, you have a logistics guy come in, right? His whole business is designed to either make an operation like the post office of run efficiently or inefficiently. Like, my guess is they just, who knows? They must have done some type of operational study even before this guy got appointed that indicated, here are some pressure points. If you do this or that, these two levers essentially that you pull, it's going to make the whole system, it's going to slow the system to a crawl. Like, someone should investigate this.
The Postmaster General is actually meeting with Schumer and Pelosi and the two officials at the White House who are negotiating this coronavirus relief package, Meadows and Mnuchin. They're meeting today. So that's number one. I know Bill Pascrell and some other members on the Committee of Jurisdiction has demanded some answers.
What committee is it?
So we could see. I think it's Ways and Means. They want to look into this. In the Senate side, it's government. It's Homeland Security and Government Affairs, but I'm not sure exactly who the House Committee of Jurisdiction is.
Well,
I think it's Ways and Means.
David Dayen, we got to wrap up here. I got to tell you, the idea of Pelosi and Schumer talking and meeting about it, that guess what that doesn't do for me.
It's not great, but it's a high level. It does suggest a high level of attention. So we definitely need more congressional inquiry into it.
David Dayen, it is always a pleasure. Like I said at the top of this, A, everybody should be reading The American Prospect. B, everybody should be reading Unsanitized every morning. And C, you should get a bidet. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. David Dayen, ladies and gentlemen. All right.